Biomolecules. In this chapter, we will be dealing with the biomolecules like carbohydrates, vitamins, nucleic acids, like these type of compounds. Proteins are the other one which are listed in this chapter. We will first begin with the carbohydrates. See, carbohydrates, we know that they are the main sources of energy we take in our diet. Chemically, carbohydrates initially were given a general formula CxH2OY, and we used to classify the carbohydrates with this general formula. But then we realized that we can't have hydrates of carbon. So this formula was changed, and it was changed to what? This CH2ON, where this N usually lies from 3 to 6. But though we have exceptions to this formula, but still till today we use this as the general formula of carbohydrates. So what are carbohydrates? See, carbohydrates are chemically polyhydroxyaldoses or ketosis with the general formula the CH2ON, or which on hydrolysis gives such units which are polyhydroxys, aldoses and ketosis are called carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are also called saccharides. Sometimes we call them saccharides. That is why we usually call them monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide, oligosaccharides, because the saccharide word, which is a Greek word, means sugar. The another important thing, the moment we say carbohydrates, we always think of something which is sweet in taste. But remember, all carbohydrates are not sweet. So those carbohydrates which are sweet in taste are called sugars, and which are non-sweet in taste are called non-sugar. Now, let us first classify these carbohydrates. See, carbohydrates are mainly classified into 3 categories depending upon the products which we get on their hydrolysis. Remember, these are large macromolecules which can be hydrolyzed or broken down to their smaller constituting molecules. These are sort of a polymeric biopolymers which can be broken down to their simple monomeric species. So on that basis, they are of 3 types. First are called monosaccharides, are those carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed further, which cannot be broken down further on hydrolysis, since they are the smallest unit of their type. Now the examples are glucose, fructose and ribose, which we all know, and the formula like glucose we know is C6H12O6. Fructose is also C6H12O6. But remember, chemically they are polyhydroxyaldoses or ketosis. So that means they have many OH groups and either an aldehyde or a keto group as a main functional group. Then oligosaccharides are those carbohydrates which on hydrolysis gives 2 to 10 units of monosaccharides. So those carbohydrates which give 2 units of monosaccharides are called disaccharides, which give 3 units of monosaccharides are called trisaccharides, like this. The examples are sucrose, which on hydrolysis gives glucose and fructose, and maltose, which gives 2 units of glucose, are the examples of your oligosaccharides. Then we have polysaccharides, which give many monosaccharide units ranging from hundreds to thousands. Thousands of monosaccharide units are obtained, are called polysaccharides. These are very large macromolecules. So these are the actual form in which we use them, and they becomes a main structural material for living organisms. Now their examples are starch, cellulose, glycogen, gum, etc. So these are polysaccharides. They can also be classified, these carbohydrates, into reducing and non-reducing carbohydrates. Carbohydrates can also be classified as reducing and non-reducing sugars or carbohydrates. See, remember, those sugars, those carbohydrates which gets reduced by tolerance of Fehling's reagents are called reducing sugars or reducing carbohydrates, and which are not reduced by tolerance in Fehling's reagents are called non-reducing sugars or carbohydrates. Now all monosaccharides, since they have their free aldoses and ketos, aldehyde or keto group, they can easily be reduced, and that's why they are called reducing sugars. So all monosaccharides come into these categories, and those disaccharides whose function groups are free can be reduced, so they are also comes into the category of reducing sugars or carbohydrates like maltose and lactose. Whereas all disaccharides whose functional groups are not free, the aldehydes ketone groups are not free, are non-reducing, like example are sucrose.